Today's lesson will be on multiplication facts for 5, 10, 3, and 6. The objective of this lesson is you will learn to recall the multiplication facts for 5, 10, 3, and 6. While watching these videos, there will be some key words that may be mentioned. If the term keyword comes up and the definition is displayed on the screen, make sure you pause the video to write down the word and the definition. So for this lesson, a key word would be multiplication, which is adding a number to itself a certain number of times. So you can see in the example, for 3 times 3, it would be the same as adding 3 plus 3 plus 3, or 3 times. Let's start with a few tips to make solving 5, 10, 3, and 6 a little simpler. When we look at the multiplication chart, let's first look at the multiples of 3. So one way you can easily remember your multiplication facts for 3 is just by skip counting by 3. So you can see it starts with 3 times 1 is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, and etc. When looking at multiples of 5, one really easy technique to remember is if you think about how a clock is set up, and we count by 5s when we are working with a clock. So 5, then 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then 60. Another thing to also remember is anytime you have a multiple of 5, there's either going to be a 5 in the ones place value or a 0 in the ones place value. It will only end in 5 and zeros. Now let's look at the 6's. So one really nice thing about 6 is it's directly related to your multiples of 3. All you have to do is double whatever you did for your multiple of 3, and that's going to get you to what your multiplication factor for 6 would be. So for example, if we looked at 2 times 3, that's going to give you 6. If we double that 6, so 6 plus 6, and we add that up, that would be 12. So 6 times 2 would give you 12. So this is where it helps to remember your skip counting by 3's, and then you can break it down that way and double whatever your answer would be to get you to 6. So another example, if we did 4 times 3, that would get you to 12. If we double 12, so 12 plus 12, that's going to get us to 24, which is the answer for 6 times 4. And then finally, let's look at our multiples of 10. So 10, you're always going to count on the decade. So your ones place value will always, always, always be a 0. So it'll be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and you keep going on and on. Another thing to also remember is that when you're multiplying by 10, it's really, really good if you can remember your place value, because it makes the multiplication process even easier. So let's do a few practice problems. At this point, you should be having your math thinking notebook out and open. You should have already written your multiplication keyword down and the definition. And now below that, I want you to try these few problems, and we'll do them step by step together. So at this point, I want you to pause the video and write down 5 times 4 in your math thinking notebook and think about how you are going to show me your strategy. Don't just write down an answer, but I want you to show me how you solved it. So for this problem, I've decided that I'm going to do a number line. I'm going to count on a number line with mine. So I'm going to show some visuals for this one. So we'll do 5, 10, 15, 20. So I'm going to show my 5 4 times. So plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. Okay, Also, if we referred to the clock, let's talk about how that strategy might look. Alright, so here's my attempt at drawing the clock. And if we remember that we're starting right at like the 12, if we counted 5 times 4, so if we counted over 4 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, I would know that when the hand is on the 4, that it would be 20 after. So 5 times 4 would equal 20. So if you're really good at telling time and that's a really good strategy for you, then when you're working with your 5s, I would definitely use that as a visual to help you remember those math facts. Alright, now let's try 3 times 5, using what you know about how to work with 5s and also how to work with 3s. You choose a strategy that will work best for you. So pause the video, and right next to where you did your previous problem and strategies, now I want you to write your strategy for 3 times 5. Remember that writing down just the answer is not enough to show me that you know how to solve the problem. Alright, so for this one, I'm also going to do another visual to start us off. So I'm going to know that I'm going to need 3 groups of 5. So I'm going to do some tally marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it helps to draw the array dots, so maybe you're going to make groups of 5 that way. However it helps you to visualize the problem is always a great way to start it out. Okay, so for mine, I did my tally marks. I have my 3 groups of 5. And then based on the tally marks that I have in there, I know that I have 5 in this one, 5 in this one, and 5 in this one. So 5, 10, 15. My answer would be 15. Alright, so let's try another one. So here is 6 times 2. This time also you're going to have to show me some strategies. So you're going to pause this video, write this problem down next in your thinking notebook. And I really want you to show me a strategy. So think of how we talked about when we looked at the chart. And you can look back in the video if you need to. We looked at the chart and we talked about how 6 is simply doubling whatever the answer of the number times 3 would be. So if we thought about it this way, how can we break this problem down? So you did 2 times 3, and then whatever the answer to that problem is, timesing it by 2 or doubling it. That is the strategy that you might want to try. You can also use visuals or whatever else you need to make sure that you are remembering the process of how to multiply. So pause the video right now and give it a try, and then we'll go through it together. Alright, so I'm going to use the doubling of 3's strategy to solve this one. So I know that 3 times 2 is going to be 6, okay, because I can visualize that. I can do 3, and then 3 more. 3 plus 3 would get me to 6 on the number line, okay, and then I'm going to take that 6 and times it by 2 or add it to itself, and 6 plus 6, that's going to give me 12, which would give me my answer. Your next problem is going to be 7 times 10, so let's practice that one together, remembering that if we look back at our multiplication chart, when we're working with tens, we're going to count on the decades, so meaning it's going to be a number that's going to have a 0 in the ones place when we add, and it's probably going to sound like 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s. That's how you're going to count. And you're going to want to get to the 7th. So 7 times 10, you're going to get to the 7th one to get you your answer. So go ahead, pause the video right now, and show me how you would draw out your strategy. This would be an excellent one that you could try showing me on a number line to get to where you need to be. Alright, so this is my number line. I've kind of started it out, and we are going to group 7 groups of 10. So I'm going to count by 10 7 times. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 is where I'm going to stop. So I know I got to 70 because there's 7 So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and there are 7 groups of 10, which got me to 70. Alright, so now that you've made it through the lesson, at the station where you're listening, there's going to be a stack of note cards. And what you need to do is you need to take one of those note cards, and up at the top left side, you need to write your name. And then you have 8 problems that you need to show me. You learned exactly what you need to from this video. So you're going to show me how you can solve for 3 times 3, 6 times 3, 5 times 4, 4 times 10, 3 times 7, 6 times 7, 5 times 7, maybe there's a connection there, and 7 times 10. You need to show me your strategies. Don't just write down 3 times 3 and give me the answer. You need to show me how you're solving it. We've talked about and you've seen a lot of strategies in this video. So you need to show me that you know how to use them. When you are finished with your note card, you may begin on the homework, which can be found in the basket at this station. This is now the end of the video, so you can stop the video. You can obviously, I'll end it on the note card so you have that. Put the note card in the binder. There's a little note card binder at your station. That is where your note card goes. When you are finished, make sure that you put your name on it. That is so important. Do not forget to put your name on it. Okay? And then you can start on your homework. And thank you for participating in our first lesson.